countdown.
Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
To begin, I just want to make sure that the audio issues are okay. Y'all don't hear my Vader breathing, do ya?
No.
Not this week.
Not this week. Welcome, everybody, to the Glass Table Live. We are live. It's been 2 weeks since we were live last. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing our stream. So make sure you share our stream too to your Facebook pages, your favorite Facebook groups. Don't get in trouble now, but for the ones that let y'all do it. So how's everybody?
Glad we've got our technical issues sorted today.
Oh my gosh.
It's just been a nightmare.
Also, can I just say that my rabbits are very awake and they are digging the ever-loving shit out of their hay box right now. So if you hear like in the background, that's them. I'm sorry.
All of a sudden you sound low, Molly. What happened?
Yeah, you do sound quiet now.
Do I? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Fine.
Here we go. It's no end. It's no end.
Seriously?
All right, so my phone doesn't even want to act right today. So I'm going to share a stream from here. From my computer here.
Do I sound better now?
You sound distanced a bit.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It feels like we haven't been here forever. It's weird. Like, it's only been, what, 2 weeks, but...
It does feel like forever. I'm looking for our stream. So you guys, you should be able to find our stream. Even though this is a live Facebook stream, we are also streaming to...
Is it better now?
Oh, yeah. There you go. You came in right on time.
Awesome.
Say something else. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Cool.
Yeah. We're also streaming to our YouTube. And I'm going to share this to my page whenever it allows me to do that. Yeah, you're right. It's been, but I guess that's the nature of live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
I don't know if I can...
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Be able to find her. Ben was with us the last time that we were together.
Hey.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do. It's forcing me to do a watch party. I don't want to do a watch party.
It did that to me, you know, for the Pride show. When I went to share the stream, it made me do a watch party.
Ben was with us the last time that we were together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me do a watch party too.
Okay, yeah. So now I'm having some little issues here, but anyway. So I will try to share it from my phone because it's trying to force me to do a watch party. I don't want to do a watch party. Facebook is being weird. If you are a Twitter user like me, then you know that Facebook down is trending today. So people are experiencing intermittent outages today with Facebook.
Oh, no.
It's been working pretty good for me, but...
And on the watch party, it does this weird ass subtitles. And honestly, if you see me and Anthony, we were in absolute stitches for the Pride show because it was saying stupid things that we wasn't even saying. So we were crying, we were laughing so much, going, Facebook, you're talking bollocks. And it wouldn't put in subtitles, Facebook, you're talking bollocks. It just ignored the sentence. So we kept saying it and it would not put the sentence on the screen.
Well, you know what? Caption is always weird because I'm hearing kind of like hearing impaired myself, so I always use closed captioning like on TVs and stuff like that, and I'm always
Mhm.
cracking up. But I hear Facebook is a lot worse.
Like when it said Molly was spinning the bees,
Yeah.
I was like, spinning the bees? That's hilarious.
All right. It looks like it's allowing me to do it now, y'all.
Facebook Live freezes a lot for me. It's frozen now.
I'm sorry.
We'll get started in a minute.
We'll get started in a minute. We usually don't take this long, y'all. You know, a lot of it is
Right.
because we changed the method in which we stream, and so we have to physically, manually share our stream now.
Sorted.
Yeah. Here we go. So let's look who are in the comments. Hello, Chessa. Chessa won't be with us today. We
Hey,
miss you too,
Tessa.
Chessa.
Yes.
Chessa will be back with us soon.
Oh yeah, I need to give Draven the link. It does help, doesn't it?
Hello.
Hey, Dylan.
Hi, Draven. Draven will be joining us really soon. And hello, Ben. I love that panda bear. Is that a panda bear in your profile pic? That don't look like a panda bear. What is that? Hey, Ben.
What?
I think we said hi to you, Ben.
Okay, let's. Yeah, I shared the.
Okay, so hopefully you
Okay.
share the stream if you're just joining us. This is our activism, our part 3 of our activism, a tribute to activism, and not just any activism, extra Jehovah's Witness activism. We have, like we said, 2 weeks ago was our big Pride show. Hopefully you haven't missed that, but you could, if you missed it, you can always hit the replay on Facebook and on YouTube. So we are
Our
waiting.
Pride show where I
Go ahead.
cried my makeup off, of course.
Right. Yeah, but it was a solemn show. We had a candlelight visual and everything. So
Yeah.
we also went through some history. That was nice, and we had some special guests that might kick off another show for us. It's kind of a spinoff for us for our cult show. We had a special guest with Mormon,
Yeah.
uh, LGBTQ, and she's gonna hopefully join us for our show for the Battle of the Cults. That's what we're
I
calling it
think
internally.
we've got an Amish lady lined up, I think. So if we do like cult versus cults, I think that's going to make a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot better than Battle of the Colts. That's what I'm saying internally. We're gonna polish the
We'll
name.
decide on the name.
Hey, Draven.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
All
Thanks for
right.
joining us.
I hope you can hear me well. I'm in a waiting room in a train station, so
Oh, okay.
We can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
it's going to be a bit echoey, you know.
Yeah, but it's not that echoey. You sound great. I mean,
But
based on the day that we had today,
Oh God.
we're just
yeah.
happy you made
Yeah.
it. With sound issues, I mean, it's definitely okay.
Oh.
Believe you me. So let's go ahead and kick off our show.
All right.
We are going to start with 2019, which is where we left off, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start and look at some memories from 2019. And Emma is going to kick this off for us. Let me see if I can get this going.
Yeah, 2019, I did a lot of activism. Like Anthony and Draven helped me do a lot as well. Now, this was like an underpass over a main road, and the car used to be just where you see the light, used to be just around the corner there by the bench. And if it was raining, they'd stand under that archway. And we literally used to go, like in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see there, we'd cover the wall in all posters, and then I'd put stickers. And the one sticker there was saying about child sex abuse. And Tamworth is known for the sandy-back pigs. So that pig, there's a big, massive painting under that tunnel. And somebody moved the sticker from the bench about the child sex abuse and stuck it on the pig. Now, I took that as a message because I thought, why did they move that from the bench to stick it on the picture of the pig? So I was quite impressed by that.
And here's our well, before we move on, is this one of the stickers you sent me, Emma?
I think these are the older ones. This is when I first started making the stickers, and that poster in the middle, it doesn't look big, but it was like a massive poster I did and put it up there, and we stuck it up with these bamboo sticks out of reach, and it was inviting people to their CSA Watchtower meeting in May. I put an open invitation up there for people to go to their meeting.
Yeah, I just want to say, you guys, that Emma not only does the stickers for herself and for her own activism, she helps out new activists like me and Molly. She sent us stickers, and we have the updated stickers and the new and improved stickers, I guess. But those stickers they're so handy. Emma, when you talk about some of the ways that you've been able to even use activism in the post office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Well,
you've been sticking them. Well, go ahead. You can
I
tell
always
us.
put them on parcels, letters, anything I send, I put the stickers on. And like I said in another show, I've translated some in Hungarian, so when Molly's allowed to go out and about with her activism. So if anyone wants any stickers, flyers, posters, I can send you the digital file, or I will post you paper versions. If you go into my other group, XJW Activists Unite, then have a look at all the in my photo album in there. Anything you want, just PM me and I'll get it to you.
So you don't have to start from scratch. Molly, have you been able to use some of the stickers that Emma sent already?
Yeah, because just the other day, well, I have two rabbits, so any cables are in complete jeopardy at all fucking times. And so I lost my work headset due to rabbits. So I needed to go downtown to the office and get that sorted. And well, when I walked to my office, I walked through like the busiest route downtown, and I basically stuck stickers on the mall entrance, the bus stop next to the city theater and the mall, where the JWs park their carts, and on my apartment building. So
Oh, that's great. Me, I haven't had the chance to use them yet. But I can't wait to use them. Honestly, because I mean, open to be open, because I always try to be honest. But to be open, I haven't used them yet because they're so cute, and I don't want to use them all. So
I could
I'm
always
gonna.
send you more
I know
though.
you said that. I know
Do
you
you
said
know,
that.
the funny story is though, when me, Anthony and Draven put that poster up on the bridge, we had to use double-sided tape, bamboo sticks, stick it on, and then we didn't want to walk over to like where the shopping centre is with these bamboo sticks. So we stashed them in a bush, and we thought next time we go back to put these posters up high, we'll use them again. And somebody stole our bamboo sticks.
Well, you can't keep nothing
Like,
around
who
people,
goes
child.
looking in the bushes for sticks?
People, they steal everything. You can't even keep a bamboo stick. I love when you do these, Emma, with the watchtower and all of that.
Well, when I started posting this in the XJW, no, in the JW groups, they were like, that's post out material. And I'd be like, no, look. And that's why I always include the URLs. Like, go to JW.org and I'd give them the instructions. Click on this, 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 this. Don't click on my links. And they'd be like, no, you've infiltrated the website. I'm like, apostates have changed the website. How am I supposed to do that? So
Wow.
I always try and highlight as much as I can that this comes straight from their source. And this was obviously the May Watchtower where they talked about their 2-witness rule and how paedophiles are allowed to remain in the congregation if they repent. And I'd not stepped foot in the Kingdom Hall for 23 years. And I thought to myself, I need to go to this Watchtower study. I need to be there and hear them say it for themselves. So as usual, Anthony and Draven had my back. I had 1 or 2 glasses of brandy and I went to the Watchtower study, and I've got you to add some clips of where I stood up and said my piece.
Yes. Let's actually start there. Let me get that going. Here we go. And you can. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and you can tell us what we saw.
Yeah.
Why is child abuse a grave sin?
Crime. It's a crime, not a sin.
Why is child abuse a grave sin?
Crime.
And it is a crime as well, I agree.
So as you can see, they tried to drown me out with a Kingdom melody, but I'd already finished my sentence. And I was sat right at the back with Anthony and Draven by the entrance doors, right? And he actually answered me from the platform.
Wow.
And that shocked me.
Were you nervous?
Very. I was shaking, but I had to do my switch off thing. I was on Facebook for most of the meeting because I had to block out a lot of it. And then I'd turn around to Anthony or Draven and go, right, we're here. Are we on this paragraph? Because I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't let my mind get back involved with that. So and I was trying to record and my video just kept coming up 0 seconds. Video recording, 0 seconds, video recording. I'll be recording, look back and it stopped. And I'm like, what's going on? I tried to record the whole meeting and I was just like, oh, and I was there with people that I grew up with, so.
People think it's that had not to be easy. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, especially the Jehovah's Witnesses you see in these groups, think that it's easy to go back, like you said, to the same place that you were shunned at, treated badly, and it's activism. You spurred by activism because you want to help. I mean, why else would you put yourself through that type of what's the word I'm looking for? Those type of
emotional
challenges.
trauma.
Exactly. Emotional trauma, especially with the guy playing the Kingdom melody music. I'm glad you kept talking after that.
The old ladies who sat in front of us were laughing.
And then here's another one here. I hope I grabbed what you were looking for.
And this one was mine. And this one's flopped a bit forward, but you know. So this one is like right on this main road by Big Island, Kingdom Hall.
So is that? Go ahead.
That was afterwards. Like we literally, I think we popped back to mine for 5 minutes because I literally live down the road from the Kingdom Hall, unfortunately. So we popped back to mine, and then at the time there was 3 congregations meeting at the Kingdom Hall. So we literally went back for when the meeting that we was at finished. We went back for another drink, come back. So we was there for when the next one turned up and left, and then when the next one turned up and left. So we were literally sat outside all day.
Wow.
And at one point there was like police that stopped and spoke to us, but there were more like street warden police. And I said, have they called you? And they says, no, we just drove past and wanted to know what you was doing. I says, oh, that's okay, because they wouldn't call you on paedophiles. And they was like, what do you mean? So we spoke to the police about it, and they was like, oh, okay. And quite a few people stopped and spoke to us that day, and yeah, it was the first proper outside Kingdom Hall protest, we call it. We did.
2 does not stop here. Please stand firmly clear of the edge of platform 2.
I remember.
Don't miss your train, Dan.
I don't know. I'll get the next one if I miss it. I might have to check the writing in a minute. I was just gonna say, I remember that young woman who stopped and talked with us.
Yeah.
She said something about the scouts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, but she didn't want to appear in a video or anything.
But she had a heartbreaking story, and she thanked us for like what we were doing, and she says that more people should do what we do.
bring awareness. That's what,
Yeah.
exactly what activism is bringing awareness to a cause. And we are actually we're going to have another live segment or show strictly about the child sex abuse CSA. That's coming up soon, right?
Yeah, because it's the anniversary of the Australian Royal Commission.
Right. So let's go to the next slide.
So this was the 2019 London protest. This was the second one that I went to. And this one I went a bit more all out. I made some teddies, and on the teddies I put like printed t-shirts aimed at the kids about, love everybody basically, and about I can't remember everything I put on there, but about not shunning people and that, but in a way that kids would understand. I did some, is it Caleb and Sophie stickers? But I did speech bubbles saying about, we don't have to get baptised if we don't want to until we're an adult. And then I did somewhere it says like, if you've been touched by an adult, I'll come with you to tell a teacher, to try and get into their minds to go to a teacher, not the elders. And then also there's a help pack in there with numbers that people can contact, helplines for domestic violence and sexual abuse, hotlines. But what I did was,
please make every effort to maintain distance between.
I put like a slip in the front that says what it is, and it's like credit card size, and then you can take that piece out and it just looks like a plain piece of paper that they can put inside their wallet or their purse or handbag. And then it's got like all the helpline numbers inside, and it's got URL links to different groups and that as well, if they want to come and like speak to somebody on an XJW group.
That's awesome. What gave you the idea about the teddy bears?
I don't know. I think I just sat there one day and I just thought we need to get to children,
right?
But in a way that's not going to scare them, that the parents aren't going to realise the message. And I just thought I could make teddies with, messages on. But also it was awkward because 2018 London protests, the security wasn't that bad. We could walk around inside, but the Jehovah's Witnesses must have not liked that. So 2019, it was very, very strict. Like security were next to us all the time. We couldn't go in the building to use the amenities or anything. And a friend that was there, she gave out 2 teddies, and security told her, no, you can't do that. So we had to put them in front of the barriers where we were and said, if people want them, they have to come up to you and collect them. So any witnesses that came up, we'd say to their children, take a free teddy, take 3 sticker packs if you want, just help yourself.
It is a good idea because, the kids are the ones that's being affected by it. If you want to reach out to another generation, and not the generation of kids that are in the courts now with the lawsuits, you want to reach out to the kids before they get. I know some people had, if I can remember back, some people might say, "Oh, why are you talking to kids or sending stuff to kids?" As Jehovah's Witness parents don't talk about child sex abuse. At least my mother didn't. She didn't. I don't know if, and they certainly don't. You don't talk about maybe an elder or maybe a ministerial servant could possibly be a child sex abuser. Even if you have the best parent that informs their children about child sex abuse, typically a Jehovah's Witness parent is not going to say, also you need to watch out for the elders and the ministerial servants too. No, they're not going to say that. So I commend you for that.
And children don't tend to forget. So if they read something with, if you've been touched where you don't want to be touched, I'll come with you to tell a teacher. That child is going to remember, tell a teacher, not tell the elders. So at first I thought, is it going to be seen as dodgy, like aiming at children? But they're the ones that need the help, and they're the ones that need to know that there's other places to go to get help, because obviously the parents aren't going to tell them that.
Yeah, you do an outstanding. Can we talk about the fact that you do all of these banners? For the Jehovah's Witnesses that was watching, activists do not get paid. There's not no apostate headquarters that cut you a check for activism against the Watchtower. This is all out donations and out of your pocket.
Yeah, I do have a few people that are lovely enough to donate towards some of my materials, because when I've gone to protest, they've not been able to go themselves. So they've said to me, at least let me give you some money towards the materials, because that way they feel like they've contributed. And it's their way of doing. So I've only ever accepted, and I'll show them all the receipts and everything for just plainly for materials, for posters and the teddies and things.
I remember this.
Yeah, so it came up on Twitter that
I
IKEA
remember.
was using the My Book of Bible Stories in one of their adverts. So I emailed them and spoke about it and got others to email them, and then they ended up emailing me back, which I was surprised, and said that they had changed it to a different book and they will never be using a JW publication in any of their adverts ever again. They couldn't change the paper versions because obviously they'd already gone out, but they changed all the online catalogues in different languages. They all got changed. So
That
I
is
thought that was a brilliant
amazing.
accomplishment.
That is quite an
Next
accomplishment.
It's amazing. Platform 2 will be the 1848 cross country.
I was surprised myself that that happened.
Yeah. And I thanked them for taking it so seriously, you know, because I explained, like, you know, I says to some people that might be petty. I says, but I've still got adult people told me that that book gave them nightmares as children. And then I told them about, like, their child sex abuse policies, and I sent them all the links as well. So obviously they did their own research and decided to change it.
Right, they did the right thing, and so that just tells you that there's other forms of activism. You know, we don't ever want the Jehovah's Witnesses to start to get that mainstream where they're showing up in magazines and books now.
They clearly chose it for the colour scheme, and they probably picked it up cheap at a second-hand shop. But that's what I said to them. I said, but we recognise what it is straight away.
Right.
It's so that well known to us.
Right. Is that Draven here?
Yep, that's Draven and Anthony.
Yes, that's me there.
So,
go ahead.
In Utah, Sam did Protect Every Child, which I forgot his last name. Sam, how can I forget his last name? We spoke about him on the Pride show. So yeah, they was doing Protect Every Child, which was a Mormon-based thing, because he found out that his children were getting asked explicit sexual questions, and he wasn't happy about it, and he protested against it, and they ended up kicking him out of the Mormon religion. So he started Protect Every Child, and I decided I wanted to do my part here in the UK. So on the same day, I went and stood, and in that middle picture, you can see literally how close we were to the JW cart. So we went and, like, stood next to them and passed that information to the public.
All right.
I thought it would have been. Sorry, I just wanted to say I thought it would have been funny to make a huge, long poster and hold it on either side of them. That would be amazing.
But that was the first time I thought, let's just go and set up a little table next to him and just stand there with information. And they did speak to us, and they were there like for about 3 hours. So they didn't rush off that time. But people would come up to us and ask us questions. There was a lovely guy, was he from Thailand? And he was asking us, and he said he'd known some things about Jehovah's Witnesses. And another old man came and spoke to us, and then he was like, I don't even want to walk past back them now. He said, I'm going to go that way. So, yeah.
And that's a lot of people who have problems with different forms of activism, or especially what they have deemed as aggressive activism. When you think about activism, it's not just for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses because we're healing and we're mad at the watchtower and we want them to move. It is for bystanders, for onlookers, right?
Most of my activism is for the public.
Right. For the public. Draven, are you still there?
You might have on his train.
Okay. Okay, so we'll come back to Draven because I know he said he had with the train or whatever. But before we move on from 2019, when we're talking about, there you are, Draven.
I'm on the train.
Draven, you're not an ex-Jehovah's Witness, but you are you?
Yeah, it's Anthony who isn't.
Not exactly, because I didn't get baptized. So,
Okay, but
but I did grow up in the, you know,
okay. So
with the.
can you tell us about what moved you to support Emma's efforts and
Well,
her?
up until I met Emma, I didn't know about what was going on in Australia with the Royal Commission. And when I found out, I was shocked, and I thought this needs to stop. I mean, um, they need to pay for that, not reporting abuse to the police. So I thought, yeah, I need to support this protest movement.
That's awesome. You guys are doing an awesome job. And mostly you said that is that the same Kingdom Hall that you were at for the Watchtower that you did the car appearance. This last slide. I thought I saw a picture, a slide of the Kingdom Hall. No,
The ones I've done have always been outside that same hall.
that's what I was going to ask you. Was it the same hall? I know they probably know you by name by now.
Oh, but I wave or stick my finger up at the security camera when I walk off. So I'm just like.
Well, I wanted to talk about the before we go move on to 2020 because we know 2020 has been a hot mess for a lot of us with this pandemic, and it has changed the way. A lot of our efforts have been online activism, but we'll go around the glass table to kind of talk about how that has changed when we go into 2020. But before we move along, a lot of us, extra hope witnesses, a lot of our activism was online. Most of it was online anyway before the pandemic. Now it's just forced all of the in physical appearances to also, be no longer existent. But in 2019, a lot of us have reached out and done other things, like say YouTube. YouTube is a huge platform for extra Jehovah's Witnesses and activism. I think we talked about that in our last few episodes. And I want to say, Emma, you also said that you started your first episode or your first video was in 2019, right?
The first, I had my YouTube for a while and I never really did anything with it. And I watched a few XJW videos, but I never thought, I don't know why, I never thought to put stuff on YouTube. And then I did a live on Facebook on the way to the 2018 protest. And then I put that on YouTube. And then I put the 2019 on YouTube. And that's when I started then going live and going do my cart appearances. And then I'd upload them to YouTube. So I started putting those on. And then because I also publish child sex abuse victims' stories in poster version, I started making PowerPoints with those and putting those on videos as well and putting them onto YouTube.
Yeah, so YouTube is a huge. If you, for the Extra Hope Witnesses, you probably already know, but for those who are watching it are not familiar with Extra Hope Witnesses, it is a huge platform, along with Facebook, to get the word out, get activism out. Primarily, I would say my activism has mostly been Facebook. I'm just really new to YouTube. But what about you, Molly?
So yeah, I started my activism in just a Facebook group, and then eventually, I gathered myself because I have social anxiety from the obvious reasons, and I did not feel ready or comfortable yet to put myself in front of a camera and speak. But then one day I was like, okay, screw this, I'm doing it. And then in September of 2019, actually, I did walk up to carts, and one time they actually took a fancy to me so much that they called the elder of the congregation and said, hey, we want you to meet our elder and ask him your questions because you are you have some very serious questions that we believe only a spiritually strong elder should answer to you because sexism. So I went with the the floor, and I said, okay, I will go to your Kingdom Hall meeting and, see what it is about. And after the meeting, I snuck to the bathroom and started my phone to record the conversation with the elder. And I kid you not, I asked the questions in a very non-apostate form. Like I said, like I told a few white lies in order to get my point across. Like I wanted to be very stingy with them in a way that, I said I'm just a standard print Catholic girl, and that, my family was abusive, which is, very true, and that the Catholic Church did not help me and did not report the abuse, even though I told in confessionals about it. And well, that did not happen, obviously, but point stands, because the JWs love to shit on Catholics, of course. So anyway, the elder said, "Oh, okay, you have some very big questions. Can we meet tomorrow in a private setting to talk about them, because I want to give this the sanctity." And I said, okay. So we met the next day, and I was ready with the Shepherd the Flock of God book in my bag. And we sat down, we kept talking, and 20 minutes into the conversation, I whipped out the Shepherd book, opened it at the child abuse section, and said, "Then what's this?" And he said, "Oh, well, that's where did you get that book from?" And I'm like, "Well, I have it. It's not important from where. I have it, and this is what it says." And he said, "Oh no, you misunderstood," and then, bullshitted his way around the two-witness rule. And then he said, and I asked, okay, but if I misunderstood or anything like that, and if this book is so important to handle these sensitive cases, why on earth would you not give it to every member of the congregation? And then the elder said, "Oh, it's because it's very sensitive and fragile situations that the elders handle, and only spiritually strong men of the congregation can have this information because they deal with these things." And I asked him about, the Australian Royal Commission, the Child Victims Act in New York, and I asked him, like, okay, but my parents were my abusers, so in such a case, who would report to the authorities? Me, the kid? And he said, well, he couldn't really answer. And then he said, well, if I want to ask these questions, then, we will have to suspend the conversation, because it seems like I am trying to pick the policy apart instead of studying. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And then I said, oh, can I ask this question? And then I asked him about, Satan, and why Jehovah, an omnipotent, all-knowing, benevolent God, would create Satan. And then they were like, oh, no, you see, you're apostatizing. And I'm like, what? And they said, are you an apostate? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I'm just, I'm just thinking. And basically the conversation ended there, and we agreed that I would call them, which never happened. But I will definitely, I still have the flyers and stuff. Today I left the flyer at the mall food court because we went out with my friend to eat, so I took my CSA flyers and left some at the food court. And I know, because even though it was like 7 a.m., I know, and I noticed when people are like looking at me. I know that people were eyeing me as I was sticking up my stickers. I noticed that some people were like, "What?" So the stickers are there. Like I mentioned, it's in one of the busiest places where the JWs preach, and I don't think they will give that spot up because it's like the busiest ever crossing point in my town. So no way in hell will they not preach that. So they will have to stand next to the child abuse sticker when they preach, which is
That's cool.
amusing to me.
Well, that's awesome. So you had experience with cart witnessing. That's in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so I was trying to think of experiences I had in 2019. I know in 2018 is when I believe I first came on Facebook, and I don't want to go. We actually talked about this in another episode, but I came there. If you just joining us as an extra Jehovah Witness Christian, I had an extra Jehovah Witness Christian channel, and I had and then I used to speak in churches about my experience as an extra Jehovah Witness, and that I think it was the beginning of my activism. But I found as I started undergoing a change myself as far as the Bible and God, that I thought my activism would be over because I no longer believed in God, and I couldn't think of another way to talk to people, Jehovah's Witnesses, to bring them out of the cult without talking to them about the Bible. Because it was the way I was simply trained as a Jehovah's Witness and then as a Christian. I'm thinking like, well, how else? And then, I see people like Emma and other people who are non-theists talk to in groups. I used to see Emma used to tear. I'm seeing from afar. I see Emma used to tear people up in them Jehovah's Witness groups. Man, do not come for Emma.
I don't join those groups exactly for that reason because I'm at that point where I am so distanced. Like I know what it feels like because I'm not stupid and I'm definitely not forgetful and I definitely don't forget how attached I was to my faith. But I know that I could not be like I know I can be helpful, so to say, in short conversations, but long-winded conversations eventually get me pissed because I feel like it's offensive to my senses as a reasonable adult human being to be as to believe
I
like
have
that.
to say, not everybody. Everybody not cut out for talking to Jehovah's Witnesses all the time, in those groups. Okay, and so
Honestly,
I mean, there are some activists
I
that
can
will
do the
not do
card
it.
witnessing. I can do the card witnessing, and oh my god, girl, that was the toughest 3 hours of my fucking existence when I was talking to that elder and his wife. 3 hours, and in some of the instances, I felt like my atheist is very much showing. So I was like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, you need to pull back, girl. I was like, my inner monologue was like,
And I don't want to beat up on extra Jehovah's Witness Christians because obviously I was one. I mean,
yeah,
I was one, and
yeah.
I have to say that I had the experience to be able to be in the church and experience church life, maybe to the full more than the average Jehovah's Witness, because I was at a church that was really excited about us being there, really excited about our background, really wanted to use us to be able to talk about how we can convert ex Jehovah Witnesses and Jehovah Witnesses for Christ. So that was, I mean, I have to say, so for people watching, don't y'all call me about this. I'm not saying that my experience was like a bad thing, but it did. I have to say that there is moving to 2019 is when I decided to launch my YouTube channel for the XJ Dub Cafe but that was only after going into a deep depression after 6 months, after going through a journey from out of Christianity and the Bible stuff and moving to a church, journey to atheism. But as I was saying before, watching Emma and other people who were non-theists in those groups be able to talk to Jehovah Witnesses without using the Bible, I even though Emma uses the Bible, Emma, you use the Bible, but you don't use it to preach, to overturn, to try to convert them to something else. It's more to overturn the reasons that they already have. You know what I'm saying? Like sex abuse. You know, so I changed the what my ministry. I wasn't no longer trying to convert people. Like I see extra Jehovah's Witness Christians now that they found their newfound faith. I was one of those people. I was trying to not only uh, get them out of the watchtower, but I was always trying to convert them to another form of Christianity. And
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm in a different lane, I think that's abusive to do that.
Yeah.
And I can't even believe, but I was able to help a couple people out. As a matter of fact, in the Jehovah Witness group, I was able to start in 2019. It's grown from in a year's time to like 6,000. So that's great. We just hit
That's
6,000 yes
so
the other day.
amazing.
Wow.
And being able to communicate, I always talk to Jehovah Witnesses in private message. They all, and if you see them on my post, they always, hey, Spencer, I'm trying to reach you. I'm really bad. I'm trying to get better with private message. But yeah, talking to them in private messages, listening to their problems, and you'll be surprised. Jehovah Witnesses, they have their own issues and their own
Mm.
problems too. And you'll get a lot of them that will open up to you in private messages. A lot of times you see them in the groups, and they cussing us out and calling us all kind of names. But when you get them by themselves, or they go through a season of trouble or tribulation in their own lives, if you have connected with them on a human level, they will feel comfortable to reach out to you if you've been talking to them, on a human level like that. Some Jehovah
Mm.
Witnesses, some.
Right. I mean, I try to use the Bible like when someone tries to, and I find it's the most. I don't want to say offensive, but the most um, annoying kind of theist that just sees an atheist post that says, "Oh, the Bible is incoherent for this and this reason," and then they post a Bible passage under the post for no reason, and then I go, okay, but here's this Bible message that passage that like completely says the opposite of what you were just saying in your little Bible passage. So what about that? And then usually, they go into like, you're taking it out of context, and I'm like,
Mm.
oh, really? Let me send you the entire page of the Bible that I took this passage from. So, like my activism, as much as I use, my experience, my understanding of how faith and spirituality works, because obviously they are both psychologically affecting you. So I always say, yeah, I'm an XJW, and this was my experience. Like this and this happened, this and this and that way, and I've seen this and this happen in this and that way, and all that. So then I usually go into more humanism kind of activism, like I like protect every child, and all religions must. Like I believe that it's important to, for sure. I'm an XJW, and I will always be trying to be helpful for the XJW community, but also I'm a queer woman, and as a queer person and a woman, sadly, my existence is inherently, I believe, political, so to say, because, reproductive rights are not just about biology at this point for women, it's about politicians trying to take that right away or make that right better. And it's not just about gay marriage, it's about, the conversion therapy that the Mormons fund. It's about the Catholic Church and their similar habit of hiding child abusers and sitting on trillions and trillions of dollars and artwork in Vatican and not helping shit to end starvation and all that. So I kind
Well,
of
activism
try,
definitely comes in many forms, but I just want to make, I don't mean to cut you off.
Mm.
Activism does come in different
yeah.
forms. But when it comes to extra Jehovah's Witness activism, I mean, I feel like that, yeah, we are multifaceted people. You know what I'm saying? When it comes, I mean, I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, I'm a mother, I'm a
Yeah.
wife, I'm a this. We all have different roles. But I just want to make sure that we have an idea of what we mean by our extra Jehovah's Witness activism here, right?
Yeah.
So you have your YouTube channel, and you have the. You said you had an instance of cart witnessing in 2019, right? And
Two
then,
actually, because before I got to the elder, I actually met with two sisters who were about my age, with knees and shoulders out, honey. Back in my day, I'm joking. I kid, but back in my day, they would not have gotten away with that. By the way, like I looked at them and they were like, "Honey, your knees are out." Ah, scandalous. So I walked up to them, like, I saw them right in front of my shopping, like my supermarket, and I was like, I don't know what broke in me that day. Like I've seen them before, like not those specific sisters, but the cards before, and I was like, that day I saw them, and the Eye of the Tiger music started playing. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this today, and I'm gonna like. I'm gonna unleash the highest level of apostasy on this bitch.
so we have
So
cart witnessing, we have Kingdom Hall
yes,
crashes, we have YouTube channels, we have it's like and car crashes. I hate calling them car crashes because they're not. We're not crashing anybody's cars. It's street. They're on the street. They call it street witnessing. Well, it's reverse street
Yeah.
witnessing.
I call them car
yeah, I
appearances.
call it
Car.
unwitnessing. So I did,
Car appearances.
I walked up to them and I said, "Hi." I was sweet as can be, as sweet as I can be. That is like, but I'm still bitter. Anyway, I walked up to them and I was like, "Hi, so I've seen your cards around before, and I was interested, so I Googled you and um your material and your rules and stuff, and I have a little brother, and we had a bad life as children because of abuse, and I want to make sure because whenever my little brother is involved, I always ask this question: what are your policies on child abuse? And they were like, oh, okay, and they went into the typical, this and this and this, and I said, okay, but I read that it's two witnesses, and I mentioned the Australian Royal Commission, where was it Tony Morris, right? During the Australian Royal Commission, who said that they
You
will
mean the
never
club?
ever change the two witness rules because it's Bible given or what have you.
Jeffrey Jackson.
Oh, sorry, Jeff Jackson. Yeah, that guy. And I said, here is the video. I showed them the video, and they're like, well, we don't really speak English, of course. And I was like, well, he says you need two witnesses for anything, basically. And I said, do you announce it publicly? Like when someone abuses a kid and your elders find out and it's proven that they did that, do you announce it publicly? Because I know that, for example, if you catch someone smoking, you do announce it publicly, because there is this guy, Tatel, who was disfellowshipped for a fucking cigarette at age 17, 18, whatever. And I was like, he was disfellowshipped for smoking a cigarette.
Wow. I wanted to
And
go
it was,
ahead. We're approaching like almost at the end of our stream, and we still got to go to 2020. So
yeah.
I wanted to, I was talking about the experiences that I had in 2019. I just want to say really quickly before we go ahead and move on to 2020 and the pandemic and what we're doing now. In addition to cart witnesses, you've heard from Molly cart appearances. You heard from Emma cart appearances. Kingdom Hall appearances, not crashes. I like that. I'm gonna start using that, Emma. Appearances and protests. You saw Emma's protest in the beginning of the stream. So those are 4 different ones, as along with YouTube, along with talking activism, with talking directly to Jehovah's Witnesses to try to pull them out of the cult. And like we said, that ain't cut out for everybody. Not everybody is cut out to talk to Jehovah's Witnesses directly, because a lot of times you still have a lot of that hurt and a lot of that pain. I know, like with me, I haven't had a chance to go to cart appearances yet, but I've had them come to my door. And let me tell you, that is triggering. When they knock on my door, it's triggering. For a long time before I called myself being in activism, I just didn't answer the door. But then when I started getting online, rubbing shoulders with activists, talking to activists, I'm looking like, okay, well, next time they come to my door, I might say something or something, just to kind of trigger their mind. And I was able to record that session. And I found it the other day, but wasn't able to cut it for the show. But it was my first time. And the person that I had to confront was the person that I was talking to was the wife of the person that was on my committee. So it was horrifying to see her. When I opened the door, I was like, whoa, I didn't mean to talk to you. But anyway, we had this exchange where we were going back and forth about the child abuse policies. And I mean, all of the talking to Jehovah's Witnesses is typically all the same. So I will not go into the back and forth that we had. Just know that she was brainwashed. Just know that she didn't think that it was an issue. But for me as an activist, I felt good. I mean, I had been speaking to churches, I had been speaking out on other places, but I had not actually talked to a Jehovah's Witness face to face. So when you don't all the time, now they're not doing the door to door now, but you don't have to all the time go out and do cart witnessing. You can just, when they come to your door, answer the door. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times. So we're going to go ahead and go into 2020, which has been a crazy year, but it looks like you were able to get some activism done. Some activism in, Emma?
I got started.
Right. Let me see if I can pull it up. Is this it?
So this was sharing shoes, and this was started by another lady, and I thought it was a really good project. And me, Anthony, and Draven, again, we went and we put our own experiences, wrote out on the posters. And also one of my friends that was sexually abused by both of her JW parents. Wow. She went to the elders. They called her a liar. They did nothing. They left her in that position. So I went and placed a pair of shoes for her, because it was at that Kingdom Hall as well that we both went to. And I wrote her story and I told her about it and says, I'm doing this for you as well, because I felt her story needed to go there. And we kind of hung around and we sat on the wall opposite, because this is like dead opposite the train station where we were before, and people stopped and read the messages, and then a car pulled up and was a bit suspicious, and then that car waited, so we waited and they waited and we waited. So we was like, well, after a bit, well, let's just pop to Aldi's around the corner, come back, and everything had gone. So whoever was in that car had come to clean it all up, but was waiting for us to leave first.
That's but you know what? I've seen that other people have been inspired to do similar activism too. There's even a group, I think, now for sharing shoes. So if people are interested, you can reach out to Emma. Because I think this is a neat idea, and I also think it's a cute idea to be.
It's a lady called Sherry. Sorry, I can't remember her last name, but she started the sharing shoes idea. And what they were doing, they were posting the shoes to headquarters and Kingdom Halls.
Wow!
But literally, because I live 2 minutes down the road, I was like, no, I'm going to go and put mine on the doorstep instead. So that's what we did.
There's another slide, right? I think did I go to the last slide? I think I went to the last slide.
This was the one where they published in the Watchtower basically that apostate lies. So we literally, again, I thought I'm going to go into my table, go and stand next to the cart. You can see the cart, how close we literally like were. We could have touched them. And when we got there, they were straight on the phone. And literally within about 15 minutes, they were packing up and left. And I was like, whoa, is that serious? So then Anthony was like, should I go and follow them and see where they've gone? I was like, go on then. So he goes off and comes back and he's like, they've gone over to by the train station, which is opposite the Kingdom Hall. So we left it 20 minutes and we followed them over there. And we sat again close to them and they literally packed up within 5 minutes and left. And we were just like,
How they get them pack them carts up that fast? They just fold those carts fold or something, or they just be.
I think they just pull something off the top and then something. I don't know. I never.
They haul ass out there.
I was just like, wow, that's just like crazy. And then, as we left, I did the poster saying, "Call us liars, we shall rise against you." I went and hooked it on the Kingdom Hall fence as a departing gesture.
And then the last one, we talked about this one here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Activism in 2020. You were able, so you got started. And then the pandemic hit.
And it was weird because like me and Anthony used to take regular walks where we go down and just leave posters, walk around town, leave posters, stickers. And we get into the habit of doing that like once a week at least. And then it's just like all of a sudden.
But you also put a poster in your window.
Oh, I've had a poster in my kitchen window for a few years now.
Yeah. So.
About the 2 witness rule, and I hear kids read it out loud. I hear people read it out loud. And like I said, the Kingdom Hall's just down the road. It's on the main road by the town centre, close to the train station. So people read it regularly.
So I guess this portion of the stream before we wrap up here, we should talk about 2020 and our efforts and how the pandemic has affected us. So Emma, you want to start, and then Molly, and then I'll end off.
Well, I had actually planned to do a protest closer to home because I've been going to the London ones, but that's like overall with me having toilet breaks and the traffic, it took us about 4 hours to get there. So I wanted to do something a bit closer to home. So we've got London is a main city, and then we've got Birmingham, which is only like 14 miles from where I am. So I had planned to do this year actual protest in Birmingham, but obviously all the conventions and everything now have been called off. So the most I can do now is online and send people posters and flyers, and that's about it at the moment. And just try and plan for when everything's available again.
True. All right, Molly, 2020 and your future efforts?
Yeah, so when like around the time we started the glass table, like before Corona got us all in detention for the foreseeable future, I was actually wanting to book a train ticket and go to Battle because Battle offers free tours. And I wanted to just go there with the shepherd book and be like, what about this? During that free tour, like I wanted to, because I have been on the free tour at Battle actually once as a kid, and I remember vividly that they, every chance they get, they are like, Bible, Jehovah, 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 governing body, Bible, Jehovah, 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 the usual, nothing new. So I was like, oh, there's a chance for me to do some very good stuff, because everyone hears the question, and even if they throw me out after asking the question, any reasonable person with a shimmer of reading a situation, if they throw you out for asking, hey, what are you doing against child abuse? Like, if they throw you out for asking that question, it's obvious that they have something to be ashamed of and something to hide. So even if I would have gotten, thrown out, whatever. But Corona got that.
Okay.
Fucked. And now that I have the stickers and flyers that Emma sent to me, and we worked on together, it will be even better when I finally get to go, because I will have it to hand out, and I will not have to speak. I can just, even if I would need to throw throw the flyers on the ground, it's in battle, bitches. Someone is gonna read it. Someone is gonna have to touch it. Someone is gonna have to interact with me, and
So is that about everything you want to do for 2020?
yeah, I think so. Other than keeping up with this amazing thing that we're doing with the glass table, the YouTube channel, I plan on actually starting the Hungarian YouTube channel, but that will completely be anonymous because my family doesn't speak English, and them being abusive towards me is very important as to why I woke up the way I did. And yeah, so in the Hungarian YouTube channel, I think I will be using some kind of software to modulate my voice, and I will not show my face, just for the
Okay.
sheer fact of privacy. And I don't care if my family knows that I'm an HJW activist, but I do care that they know that I talk about the abuse because sadly they are still in my life for you know better or worse, and I don't want to explain it to them and have it all dredged up again when it's kind of out of the picture because they live in another country. So
Okay. Draven, do you have any activism ambitions from now into the future? Whether it's, I guess, an extra Jehovah's Witness activism or helping Emma out. I guess we're gonna have to get back on the trail again soon.
Activism or helping Emma out. I guess we're gonna have to get back on the trail again soon.
Well, the objective, the big objective, I think, is to crumble the watchtower because, well, it's not what I thought it was, and lives it needs to be stopped. But for the moment, I'm helping Emma as much when she's doing something big. So
Whatever I drag him into.
that's about it.
Whatever I drag him into.
I think that I didn't want to do. Trust me.
Yeah.
Am I hearing echo? Yeah.
I don't like my voice.
Dan, if you've not got earphones in.
I don't like my voice. If you've not got earphones in.
I've got earphones, but for some reason they're not connecting to the phone, so it
Works. We can hear us.
I think. I
That's
don't know
the
how it
story
works.
of the day.
Well, we can hear us, but that's the story of the day. Sound issues.
So I'm gonna put Draven on mute for a second.
It's a bit morbid, but I was sitting thinking the other day that when I plan these big projects, I'm thinking like, well, what if I don't wake up the next day and what I've planned doesn't happen? So I messaged Anthony and Draven on the same day, and I said, I just want you to agree that if I'm in the middle of a big project, say like an XJW or a protest project, and you know my plans, and something happens to me, I want you to agree that you will finish off that project for me. And I was like, yeah, that's a bit morbid. I was like, yeah, but I'd want to know that you would finish it for me and carry it through, because that would make me happy knowing that you would finish that. And there was like, both agreed. So I'm like, yeah, cool. I just felt like I needed to say to them, you have to finish it because that's what I would want. So
Yeah, totally. I think for me, this year, before the pandemic hit, I was going through some health issues, and then I think the glass table has been an outlet because we've been able to, during the pandemic, go live. I don't know how many times, and get the word up. Shows like this talking about activism and giving a tribute to people who are activists, not just ourselves. If you go back to our past shows, we acknowledge other activists in the comments and on the show. We've had guests that talk about their activism. I'm not going to drop a bunch of names, but if you go back to our shows, you'll see that. So honoring other activists has been important to me. I think that this platform allows us to do that. We've not only put out episodes about Activism, we put out episodes on how advice to a PMO. We did a huge, was one of our biggest live episodes, is the memorial episode where we did a visual for victims of um, suicide victims.
Suicide, yeah. Yeah.
Was it?
Suicide.
Okay. Which, to me, starting our YouTube channel together, or our live together, we've been able to join forces, as you will, to be able to have a bigger platform to be able to talk about our individual efforts as well as our efforts together, because we do this almost every Sunday.
Right,
So,
and I
and that
think
takes a lot of work. And so, also, what I wanted to do, before I was stopped before the pandemic, I was in the process of writing a book. So I have a uh, website. It's called the XJ Dub Cafe. It was called something else before, but I'm not going to name the other name because I don't want y'all to use the other name. Use the xjdubcafe.com. And in that, I used that. It was a ministry page where I was using a lot of my poetry, but now I have a lot of extra Jehovah Witness related poetry. I plan to expand that this year to actually do what I wanted to do, which is to have a lot of extra Jehovah Witness articles directed at Jehovah Witnesses, breaking down their doctrine. That's been a big project for me, so I've been working on that. But yeah, my book, I thought my book was going to be about my extra Jehovah Witness journey, but it's going to be a little small part of that. So I guess my book, finally work on my book, work on my website, which has, I have to say, WordPress has been good to me. I got a lot of followers there, a lot of extra Jehovah Witness. If y'all don't know, there are a lot of talented extra Jehovah Witness writers who have blogs. It's a really small community on WordPress, but they are there where you can see some of their articles. As a matter of fact, a lot of people started at blog sites. Eric Wilson had a blog for 3 or 4 years before he launched his YouTube. So you have activists who start on a blog first, or start on Facebook first, or maybe start on YouTube first, but whatever platform you're looking for, you can find somebody out there. So besides the book, the blog, and the glass table, and my own YouTube channel, I think, but I would like to get into physical activism. I want to get in physical activism. I feel prepared now. I got flyers. I got stickers. Molly, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that it has been like crazy inspiring interacting with, well, you ladies and all the other activists we had on here. And you know, I want to give props to, Telltale and Jimmy Snow, because they were the ones who pushed me, kinda, sorta, into starting my online activism by, joining the online XJW community and picking back up on what the hell is happening in JW land, because girl, I've been out for 9 years this year, if I count right. And I started my, activism like last July is when I joined the Facebook community of XJWs. And by September, I was making my YouTube videos and I was doing the card stuff. Obviously, I can't wait to have them out on the streets again. It's weird, but I kind of get this like, haha, that's some fun right there, because even if they don't necessarily
Right.
agree then, but once you hear these things, you cannot ignore. If you have a conscience, you will not ignore child abuse when it's so plainly explained and put out to you. And so yeah, I definitely think that it has been a very inspiring journey interacting with all of you amazing people.
It has been. I mean,
learning.
for the people that's out there, I mean, let's just talk. I mean, if we could also, yeah, David is saying Eric Wilson is outstanding. Yes, he is. Right. Yes. Uh, this is. I mean, we don't just jump online. I mean, and just start talking. I mean, this does actually take a lot of
Yeah.
preparation and take a lot of work for us to be able to talk to people about some of the topics that we're doing, partnering with other people in the community,
Yeah.
uh, getting background information, cutting clips. I
Hmm.
mean, I have to say that we have learned things in this process of just bringing the Glass Table Live to you,
Yeah.
in our forms of activism in so many ways. We've even encountered, I mean, cross paths with people that we probably normally would have not probably
Yeah.
crossed paths with. So I look forward to a great 2020. Hopefully, y'all, hopefully a great the rest of 2020. But I have to say, before in the closing, before we close, that this is a different world out here, y'all. We might even have to think about, as the witnesses adjust their witnessing efforts, we're gonna have to adjust our activism efforts. It may not be that we can be in face to face with some of these people anymore. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if you guys know or seen it, but their conventions are completely online, which is just like, to me, is a mind f. I'm just gonna censor myself because I just would have never thought in a million years that they would never have physical conventions, but here we are. And them not having conventions means that there are no protesters outside of the conventions, so it
But
affects us.
Yeah.
they're still sending out badges and wearing badges. I don't understand. Like,
Oh
so
my
now
gosh.
you've got to sit in
Are
front
they
of the
really?
Zoom camera wearing a badge. Like, yeah, I saw something the
They
other
are
day where
deluded.
it's just like, what?
I
I think
wonder. I wonder. Would like if I hit my JW sister up and say another few white lies.
I think we need to read David's comment out though as well, because
Yeah.
that's enlightening to the one above that one.
Right. I couldn't flash that one.
That's enlightening to how JW's thought about the protest I did about apostate-driven lies.
Yeah. Why don't you read it? I can't flash that one.
Okay, it says, I remember sitting in one of the local elders' homes in 2015, watching the JW broadcast, still indoctrinated, when Stephen Lett came on with his apostate-driven lies comment toward being dismissive of JW child abuse cases. Oh, don't just moved. We thought, oh, the apostates are using everything but the kitchen sink to get people out. Literally, that was how we were taught to think from the Watchtower, as if apostates were all going to attack JWs. That's why they redefine their narrative of apostates. And that's how that article felt to me, and that's why I felt so strongly to go and stand next to the cart, because for them to turn around and say that the child sex abuse was apostate-driven lies, even though it'd been investigated by charity commissions or officially in place by the government, and they were saying we were lying about it. He's just reiterating the fact that, yeah, they just thought it was lies, and they can stand up there and tell them it's lies.
Yeah, with a straight face. I mean, David, you will be interested probably in the ARC. I don't like calling it an anniversary, but it's not a happy thing. But the ARC anniversary episode, it's actually in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like
2
3
weeks,
weeks.
I think.
2 weeks.
I think it's 2 weeks. It's 5 years since the Australian Royal Commission.
I can't even believe that.
It's gonna be a crazy ride because I remember like I left the Jehovah's Witnesses and I just said, okay, fuck this shit, I'm out, bye, no religion, no nothing, and I just went cold turkey, nothing for years, and then for some reason, and I keep mentioning it, but it's just a stroke of luck, that YouTube for some reason brought up the atheist and secular humanist YouTube creators. And when I saw them talking about their respective backgrounds of like Mormonism, Islam, standard Christianity, and Telltale with the JW stuff, I was like, whoa, dude, there's a whole lot of abuse that needs to be addressed. And I felt like this this fire in my heart to speak out about it. And the more I heard their stories, the more I was like, oh wait, that was really abusive. That happened to me when I was fucking 7, or some stuff like that. And the more I heard the other stories, the more I started putting the puzzles back together, and the more I was passionate to speak out and to do something. I said I cannot stand to hear and see these stories and not do anything about it. My conscience wouldn't allow me to rest if I didn't.
A lot of us have been inspired by the ARC. David said he was inspired by the ARC. I do remember when I was waking up and my husband was not woke, I remember telling him something I had saw in the paper. I just happened to see it. And I remember being in my bed crying because I thought, wow, this organization is not what I thought. At that time, I had already did some research, but it softened my heart to look again because of my own background, my own family issues, where I felt like, okay, well, let me take a second look at what people are saying, because I told you I went on Eric Wilson's site fully trolling him and calling him an apostate. And look at me now. I'm here. Draven, I'm gonna let you close out with the last word, but do you have something to say before I let you do that?
Can I just say
I don't
one
want to put
thing?
you on the spot. Go ahead.
Yes, David. Angus Stewart is a god. After watching him nail Jeffrey Jackson to the wall at the Australian Royal Commission, that was just like, wow. It was just like, I can't remember the other guy's name.
Fear not mercy.
David,
Like,
so if we have any
like,
people out there who are, this is probably a good time to ask. If you guys are familiar with the ARC, David, we know you like a extra Jehovah's Witness dictionary, like a human dictionary of everything that has ever gone on in extra Jehovah's Witnesses. But we'd like to compile stories. If you were affected by the ARC, we're going to try to, hopefully, it would be nice if we can do a historical timeline as a tribute, maybe stories, and that would be great. Clips. Maybe we'll put old Jeffrey Jackson in our stream. Show that.
And Max Hawley saying that he didn't even realise that child sex abuse was a sin. That it was a crime. He didn't realise child sex abuse was a crime. He said that stood on the stand in court.
We need that.
I can't even fathom that. Like, how can...
Draven, so did you have anything you want to say before we close out?
No.
I've been hearing you a bit interrupted because my internet connection is not very good. I'm on Wi-Fi right now. It was nice to be on the show, even with all the technical problems. Definitely want to do something more soon, because...
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to have you back.
I don't know. I don't have anything planned.
Of course, I'll have you back. And
y'all, I sound loud. hear myself back, y'all.
hear myself back, y'all.
I'm going to have to mute
problem
you.
with the...
We've had sound issues today.
We've had sound issues today.
Yep. I agree with that.
All right. Well, we are...
Feel free to let me go anytime you want.
Okay. We're just going to put you on mute. We're not going to let you go. But thank you guys for joining us. We are reaching at the hour and a half of our stream. Let me see. Let me go through some of these comments. David, thank you for joining us today. You have had a lot to say. I can't wait to go back and read some of your comments. Let's see here. You said Troy Bundy's early reporting was revealed in PBS. I came across in 2017 was instrumental in my own awakening long before he came out with the Oxygen special in February, right before the COVID pandemic. See? He has the dates and everything. It's just his comments just be so
Can I have your brain, please? I aggressively want to take you out for dinner. Nothing sexual. I don't care for that stuff, but I want to hear you speak. I know that,
And he calls them cart stand-ups as well, which is another good things than saying crashes.
Yes,
like David, you're on the list of people I aggressively want to take out for a candlelit dinner just to speak. Just so you know.
Sorry, Molly. It was Zeb as well who alerted me to Kingdom Hall appearances because I'd never really saw that. And then I saw Zeb doing it and I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I'd never wanted to step foot in a Kingdom Hall since I'd left, so I never thought about doing that. And then I saw Zeb doing it and I was like, ah. And then
they're talking about crashing Zoom meetings now, y'all. Don't crash Zoom meetings, I guess. I don't know if that's activism, y'all crashing Zoom meetings. I guess I've never seen it, so I don't know.
It's just the online version of saying stuff in the Kingdom Hall, I guess. So.
Is it? Well, the one that I saw, the guy, the apostate, was drinking wine. Like, just drinking wine and chilling out and stuff like that.
I've seen the one with the old man, and he comes on with his 2 bottles of wine, and then he's Chris, and I'm just like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing this video of a memorial, whatever, and an apostate was sitting through the meeting, and once they, started passing the symbols, he took a big bite out of the bread, chugged the entire glass of wine, and raised the glass and said, "This is for all the child abuse victims you covered up." And then he just, he was realizing that, oh shit, the whoever is coming to toss me out. So he started backing it up, but he kept speaking, and I actually wanted to do that on Memorial, which obviously did not happen. I wanted to do that. I wanted to take the symbols, stand up, and say, "This is for all the children whose abuse you covered up." And
before I even knew that people was crashing memorials, I guess I didn't crash the memorial, but
Phrase. Spencer phrase for everyone.
Yeah.
I remember Audra, another XJW lady, she did a great crash where they went to the memorial and they all sat, I think, right at the front. And then they all put up these placards, all sat in a row.
I mean, I will definitely do Kingdom Hall visits when it becomes viable again. And I wonder how many battle visits I can sneak in before they will be like, "Oh, this witch again."
That's the one who left the apostate material last time.
I will definitely do that. And I told my friends, look, I will go to battle, and I'm not paranoid to think that they would try and assassinate me or whatever. I don't think me leaving random papers will warrant that much. But I was like, yeah, well, just bear in mind I'm doing some activism, and some people might not like that. And that is why I literally deleted my last name, my address, where I was born, when I was born, from every social media.
I'm back. My internet cut out, y'all. Sorry about that. My internet cut out. It just went off.
I was like, Spencer phrase for everybody. I thought it was me at first. I was like,
no, it just cut. I told you it's doing this thing it's cycling out and cutting off and stuff. But I was trying to say that I went there and I I chickened out and did not partake. When it came around, I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. And then but what I did do was stand up. I was in the second row and I was just like, oh, I don't want to be here or whatever it is I said. And I walked out and I told you that I had a huge argument with my husband after that. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, to close out, there are so many different ways of activism. There are so many different people that you can help, whether or not you're like Emma and your heart is to ex Jehovah's Witnesses and you want to open up a Facebook group or you want to open up a Jehovah's Witness group. Now, let me tell you, it's not easy. Well, not neither one is really easy, but or you want to open up a Jehovah's Witness group to try to help them out of the cult, or you want to cart witnessing. What did we mention? Not cart witnesses. What we calling them? Cart appearances, Kingdom Hall appearances. You have YouTube channels. You have all of that. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, Draven, for coming on as a special guest. I also wanted to let you know, guys, I think next week we talk about urban legends. Jehovah's Witness legends. So that should be interesting. You probably say, what is that? Well, you have to watch it to find out.
Shall we all come as Smurfs?
All right. Everybody, right.
Oh my
Smurfs
God.
is a big one. So that should be fun. We have a lot of serious issues, but we're going to be kicking it and talking and making it a little light and just for you guys so we can kind of talk about live. Some of the things that we talk about in the groups already. We talk about this in the group. You might as well jump on our live and start talking about it. And then after that, with 3 weeks is our big show, which is our ARC anniversary show, where we talk about hopefully a historical timeline of the ARC, get some stories from victims, and even have some clips and talk about maybe the redress, because that's the big thing right now.
Yeah.
And that, because that all ties in, I think.
Yep.
Yep. So you will be able to join us. Next week we're off break. We're off our vacation. We're back into it after the pandemic. So thank you again for joining us. We hope that you guys join us next week. And if you are just joining us right now, hey, John Newby, he said, hey, Glass Table Gang. I like that. Gang. Make sure you join us next week. The Glass Table Gang will be here. So bye.
And I just want to say one last thank you to Draven and Anthony. I couldn't do my activism without you.
Yes.
So
Draven is.
You don't know how much I appreciate you.
I hope you can hear it, Draven.
Can I also say I want to thank my best friend, and I did when we had dinner last night, because he mentioned I could have never imagined you having a YouTube channel, you walking up to Jehovah's Witnesses and speaking to them on the street unprompted. And he said, like, I know your social anxiety is very bad, so I'm so proud of you for like gathering yourself to do that. And I said, you are the reason why. Like when you came out as gay to me, and I saw that look on your face of sheer like, will I still be accepted and stuff, or that's a complex emotion was on his face, and I was like, that's the moment I knew.
Well, since we're giving out shout outs about people who have helped us along our way, I guess my shout out would be to my husband. He been hanging with me since the first YouTube channel, which was, I don't know, I don't even tell y'all what the link is to that one, because I don't even want y'all to go back listening to that one. My husband has been instrumental, and he has been on my journey since he became an extra Jehovah's Witness, because I came out first, and now we have the SJ Jub Cafe Live, which we're gonna try to start up. We've had some issues. We had death in the family, so it's been a journey here. But yeah, I guess, and all the activists who have come before us, which the first episode is dedicated to you. Our first episode is dedicated to every single activist, because we could have never done any of this without you. I mean, you were in the papers, you were on the television shows. We even played clips of you on the old school TV shows. We know that you trailblazed the ways. Y'all was even sending letters to Michael Jackson. Y'all was trying to get him into activism. I'm just amazed at the foundation, at the road that you paved for us, because we're leapfrogging each other. And to all of the new activists that are going to come behind us, hopefully we do y'all some justice, and with our own work, hopefully we lay the groundwork, because they were doing radio and all that stuff back then. Now technology is a little bit different. Who knows? Y'all probably be doing TikToks. And what they TikToking now? I don't know what else they doing.
I've never been on it.
Does anybody know what TikTok is? I tried to watch one.
Do you know Vine?
Yes, I used to watch some Vines. Look at Draven. Don't laugh at me. What is they TikToking?
It's like that's it. Like it's like Vine, but shittier.
It's just short video clips. My nieces are into it. You do short video clips, and people do funny ones, serious ones, and they send me ones now and again that I watch. But I've never actually been on the website. It's
like 10 second little like videos.
Oh, okay. Well,
apparently banned in the US or something now.
Are they trying to?
There's a big thing going on, isn't there? So
yeah, they're trying to. Trump trying to ban TikTok, so he blamed the TikTokers for his rally not being fully attended the other day. And the K-popper. See, a K-pop and TikToking and all this stuff these young people doing, y'all.
Oh,
So, right. So y'all gonna probably go deep. I'm gonna be an old lady and look at some of the activists, and y'all gonna be doing stuff on a far bigger level. Probably have a lot bigger platforms than even we do. So we just appreciate everybody before us, behind us, and presently walking alongside us in this journey. So we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye, and we'll
Bye,
see you guys
everyone.
later.
Bye.
As soon as this thing pops up. Bye.